we rely on experts, but we don't know how to know if an expert is actually an expert. So he's got a process, a 7-step process that helps you vet to determine if someone actually is an expert, because no one trusts that anymore. So that was some of the stuff he was sharing. I just thought it'd be a good opportunity to kind of mention it.
Yeah, and maybe just to dive into that a little bit deeper, using a metaphor, the three BS detectors, the head, the heart, and the gut, that many of us can refer to. It's like dashboard gauges. And when you first start out in driving, there's far too many dashboard gauges to really understand what they mean or the relationship to right now. That one's referring to gas, the fuel, how much fuel's in the tank, and that one's referring to temperature inside the car, temperature outside the car, speedometer, all those sorts of things to the person who is just getting started. And you have to learn what all of those things mean. And that means sometimes you have to dress inappropriately and be cold. And sometimes you have to dress inappropriately and be hot, or you have to run out of gas, or you have to do this or do that, where the information was there that you needed to go get an oil change, but you didn't follow that or respond to it or understand it. And the next thing you know, you need a new engine, that sort of thing. So if you think about, really getting interested in what Ken said, and that is to listen to yourself and listen to your responses to things, and really kind of get curious about what's up with that. And what is that showing me? And what's my experience telling me that that's showing me? And is that coming from my head, my heart, or my gut? Or am I getting conflicting messages where my head and my heart? Now you're at least looking at two gauges, and they seem to be telling you something different than a third gauge. How do you make the decision of where to go with that kind of thing? But for most people, their relationship to it is not one where you could take the names off of the gauges, and a person who has that expertise and who is unconsciously competent, it's like just part of them now, they glance over and all they see is a needle. They don't see the gauge. They don't see any numbers on the gauge. They see the direction or the attitude of the needle. And that says volumes to them. And that's exactly what people who fly jets for a living with those hundreds of gauges in front of them get trained to do, to become very competent at those BS detectors. And those are important BS detectors because people live and die on their ability to respond to them appropriately. So that's just a little kind of a metaphor that I'm bringing to some really great training, that I've gotten from both Ken and from our dear mutual friend, John, who Ken has known for pretty much ever. And quite frankly, we will never be able to repay that debt. So the only thing we can ever do is to pay it forward. Mm-hmm. So thank you for that. Lisa, any closing thoughts for our first Lighting the Candle, A World That Works of 2022 and episode number 90?
Just to say Happy New Year to everyone and do something small today.
I like that.
Yes. May you find your life in small things.
There you go.
Ken?
I'm good. I think that's perfect.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming and seeing us one more time. And we are everywhere you listen to podcasts. So tell your friends and keep lighting that candle. God bless everyone. I love you all, and Happy New Year. Happy 2022.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to Lighting the Candle, A World That Works, part of the Xvadio Podcast Network. You can catch us each week, as well as the rest of the network, at xvadio.com/podcasts, as well as the Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Audible, Amazon Music, and wherever you find podcasts.